Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Prodcast, featuring me and Octo.
What's up?
How you been, Octo?
I've been, chilling. I got a lot of school stuff that I've been doing recently, but that's about it. What about you?
Yeah, same here, I guess. But that's not the topic of the video. We gotta talk about placements and how you get them. So, what do you think of placements, Octo?
For someone who doesn't know what a placement is, let's start there. A placement is when you get a beat that you've made placed, quote unquote, with an artist, so they'd be using that beat. Now, it can be either a big placement, small placement. That's up to you. That's kind of ambiguous, but that's what a placement is.
Yeah, I think a lot of producers strive for placements. I think every producer strives for placements.
Yeah,
because that's really what makes you, I guess.
it's the name of the game.
Exactly. And we're going to show you guys how to actually get these placements. So, one big way is to work with artists directly.
Of course.
So it may sound hard, but all you got to do is probably look on SoundCloud or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, find small artists because they're always looking for beats. Because who's even paying for beats anyway? So tap into that small market.
You tapped in with Gliz and Addy, right?
Yeah, they're super cool guys. Always send them some fi. So yeah, always check SoundCloud, or even when other producers you follow repost artists, you can work with those guys too, and they're always willing to give out their beat email.
Yeah, it's always good to go for these big placements, I find. But definitely working with small artists is the play. I was watching this Tragic interview a last week or something, and he was talking about how he's been working with Yeet since 2019.
Dang, yeah, you always gotta invest your stock, quote unquote, on these small artists because you never know when they're gonna blow up.
And that's the thing, you gotta work with people you actually fuck with too. You can't just be honestly, this guy has a pretty good mix, so I'm just gonna send him beats because why not?
Yeah, you can't really be a yes man. You have to make sure you guys have a good relationship, at least besides the music. And speaking of big artists, one way to work with these big artists, because maybe you don't really care about the small artists, is through loop making. Yeah, loop making. Me and Octo, proud loop makers. But the problem with that is there's way too many loop makers. So they're gonna be washed away by the wave.
Definitely recently as well. So many loop makers. It's I'm getting millions of emails daily, dude, in my loop mail. I don't even know how these people be getting my loop mail, man.
Dude, I literally get daily loops in my email. It's cool that you're making so many loops, but you don't want to overwhelm producers because they're gonna get fed up and block you. No lie.
Yeah, I was blocking so many people in my loop mail recently because they just send 9 attachments, 20 megabytes. They send 5 emails and my whole email is full. So I just be blocking people.
It literally fills up my storage on my email and it sucks. But yeah, loop making.
It's definitely the play for getting to these bigger artists. You work with a somewhat big producer by just sending them loops. They already got the direct connect, so they just use your loops and send it out.
Yeah, and even using midis, or literally sending out midis, because you don't have to do the hard work of loop making if you just keep making midis. Or you can take the easy way like me and only make lab loops with midis. The best thing with midis is the way you can manipulate them and the way other people can manipulate them, so you're never going to get the same exact loop every time.
Especially if you're sending to a lot of people. If a lot of people are using your midis, they just send it back. On my top weeks of loop sending, I'll be getting equal amount of, or double the amount of loops back, because I just send everybody using my midis, and then I just send out my own solos, and then it's 30 packs every couple days.
Yeah, I feel you. And the best way going around to get people to use your loops is definitely network. You always got to DM somebody to ask if they want their beat mail, Because what are you if you don't network? You're just a producer, like any other producer. And as forementioned, when I spoke about overwhelming producers, you really want to focus on just being comfortable and not really like showing weakness or even just being a straight up asshole to people in their DMs, because producers are people too. And Octa, do you have anything to say about networking?
Dude, I can't tell you how many fucking DMs I get. That's just like, yo, and I go to their page, right? A lot of times they don't even follow you. They got like boring looking pages, you know, and they're just like, and then you're like, you respond with another yo, like, yo, can I send you some loops? I'm
Sometimes they
like,
just send you beats.
that's a lots of other things. A lot of those are mainly bots though. I find because they just spam send stuff out. But just being a genuine person is like kind of hard to find. Apparently, it's definitely something I appreciate more than just someone just being like, "Can I send stuff to your loop email?"
I mean, literally, like having a personality really helps in just relationship building and it, like stuff like that. But anyway, if you decide not to be a loop maker or to work with artists through the internet, you can always be an engineer.
Engineering is pretty lit too because um it's more of a in-person kind of thing because you'd be at the studio sessions engineering for people, um and like CG's doing that stuff, like he been mixing stuff, and he be like mixing like these bigger artists because these artists don't know how to mix, they just know how to talk on the beat.
Literally, like even if you like become an engineer, it's probably the easiest way to get placements without even having to do much besides, maybe you have to lay down the drums or just fix up just things, but you can still receive credit, because I know people that have gotten credits from just being there, and it's crazy. So you always got to be there. You got to be at the right place at the right time. So for engineering, you really got to pop out at places like LA, Atlanta, Chicago, just like
And
busy places with a lot of rappers.
you don't really have to go to those places either. Like you could just start out building up in your own community.
That's true. That's true.
And I know
Or you
there's
could
a
have like, I know what were you saying?
yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of younger producers nowadays, so maybe like engineering is not really a play right now, but definitely looking into that for like a post secondary kind of route. A lot of prods I know that are like in not engineering school, but like they're in audio school for engineering and stuff, and they say that they get internships and shit, and then they just be popping out with rappers, and it's just the experience too. Like it's definitely a route you could take.
Yeah, and I know some producers that take internships as an engineer and get so much done. And even then, like engineering is a good way to make some income for whatever
Yeah,
you need.
yeah, that too. Because producers don't get paid that much. Everybody knows this.
Yeah, even though it looks like it, like producing, or I mean like major placements, they take a while to get. Like I still haven't gotten any money from some of the placements I've gotten, and it sucks.
And it's because the chances that they drop is so low, and then you gotta go through the management, and they try to like fuck you over. Especially if you're making loops. That's one of the L's with loop making, especially. A lot of people really try to fuck you over with that.
Yeah, they always try to get some weird splits, or you just don't even get credit at all. Really painful. But you know what?
That's why you
You
gotta
gotta
build
deal
with
with it.
people. You gotta build with people that you actually fuck with, that are like your actual good friends.
That's very true.
Because these big artists, like, yeah, they're pulling numbers, they're pulling plays, they're placing their beats, or like these big producers are placing beats and stuff. But they're just generally dicks. Like that's kind of the bottom line. If you got a friend that you've been working with for like multiple years, then like they're not gonna fuck you over. At least I hope they wouldn't.
Yeah, there's some snakes.
You wouldn't fuck me over, right, Lambda? If we got a big placement.
Maybe, maybe not. You never know. But yeah. Anyway, our last method is branding. Like having just a big YouTube or TikTok, people will see that and they'll be interested in your content. Like look at Octo. Like this man makes like meme producer content and it's hilarious.
Mimi, I don't have all.
Well,
It's not all memes.
I mean like it's not like boring, monotone
Yeah,
crap.
yeah, yeah.
It's like
It's different.
entertaining.
It's different.
Yeah.
You can tell there's a bit of quality in them.
Yeah, that's what people are looking for. They're looking for like entertainment because like producing on YouTube and TikTok, it all feels the same. Like there's nothing really like game changing at all. It just feels like tutorials and beats.
Oh, perfect example. You know Ladani? He got his tech placement
Yeah.
literally yesterday. He's huge on TikTok, literally like insanely big because he started this thing where you go like, he puts a loop, he puts some kind of picture on it, and goes sample this, so people be making duets to it.
Yeah, literally it's also an easy way to scout, like for people to scout you, like big
Exactly, you have
producers,
your
they
shit
find
out
you,
there.
or artists too.
Yeah, my
So
Chenzo's doing that too. Chenzo just posts like constant like recordings of his beats on his computer, and I don't know how he does it, but he makes his whole like screen shake when the 808 hits. But he's huge on there, and he was telling me how many like different placements he's getting because of it. Like people, like a lot of these artists, they like literally like comment on his TikToks. They'll be like, "Yeah, send me this." And he networks with them on IG, and then boom, he has the placement.
dude, and the best outcome is literally if like the TikTok becomes like a million like view, million play like sound like Juju, you know
Oh
the Evil
yeah,
Empire stuff. That was insane. I remember hearing that all the time. You could literally just post a beat, wake up, and it Charlie D'Amelio makes it
yeah,
into a
because the
TikTok.
TikTok algorithm is nuts. Like you post anything, it's getting like upwards of 1K if it's okay. Like that's like your first video. You just gotta post consistently on there, and they'll just promote your shit so heavy.
Yeah, even with YouTube. But the problem with YouTube, in my opinion, is like artists are like they tend to steal some of the beats, or you don't really receive credit for them, and you won't find out until like after, and it's kind of a pain. And also, just like working with the YouTube algorithm, it's just annoying to me at least. But
Shameless
some
plug.
producers,
Shameless plug. I do have a
I've
video on this.
I haven't watched it clearly,
Damn.
but I'm
You
gonna go ahead
should.
and
You
watch that
deserve. You need
later.
to.
Yeah, but is there anything else we need to say?
Not really. I feel like the main thing though, out of all of this, the main takeaway is you gotta do all these together. You don't just take one of these points and be like, all right, I'm finna run with just making loops. You gotta work with these artists. You gotta send your own beats to people. These small artists, work with them. Work on collabing on loops, beats, whatever. Get your email list huge if you can. See if you
Mm-hmm.
can get into some studio sessions. See if you can engineer some stuff, even if it's small. Like get some of his vocals and just mix it on your own stuff. Like use the hardware you have if you have any. If you can get to these studio
Yeah.
sessions, do it. Do your branding. Do all of it together. It comes to a lot of time. You really have to make this like a job. This is not a side hobby if you're trying to do it like for real.
Yeah, and always you got to make sure you stand out too amongst the crowd, because in a sea of producers, you have to be the one that's noticed because
Originality
you
is key.
exactly because I've been seeing so many clones and just so many of the same stuff, and there's
Uh,
only one person that I fuck with, as an example. So you got to be the person I fuck with, or the person that Octo fucks with, or just like a real. I don't know how to explain it, but you also got to be like personal, and you got to have like a personality. Because to be honest, I feel like the more personal you are with producing and like the people that interact with you, there's more of like a chance that you'll be remembered. Because sometimes these producers just come and go. You never see longevity, especially in a short term like industry, especially with music.
yeah, you can't just develop an ego because you got like maybe one placement, two placements. You really gotta be courteous to everybody because you never know when that guy you ignored in your request tab is gonna get his get the next biggest placement, start the next biggest wave.
Exactly.
Well, it shouldn't be for that reason either. That kind of sounds shallow when I say it like that. I'm just saying like, give everybody a
Just got to be
chance.
genuine. You
Be
got to be
genuine.
genuine
Yeah.
too. You got to be like at least be humble, but like don't just be an asshole, because like we're human. Viruses are
Mm.
human too. We wake up and sleep and shit and pee. We do everything you do. But yeah, I guess that wraps it up for our first podcast. If you guys have any comments or suggestions about what we should do, because we've never done anything like this, please leave them in the comments or just like DM us and let us know how we're doing, because this is something we were really interested in. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Bye.
Bye bye.